Welcome to the launch of the Australian Franchise Registry. Special welcome to the Honourable Bruce Bilson, our Federal Minister for Small Business, who I'll call upon shortly to officially open the registry. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you also to the Deputy Chair of the ACCC, Dr Michael Shaper, and the Chairman of the Franchise Council of Australia, Mr Michael Paul, for joining us today. We'll also hear briefly from them shortly. This morning we have strong representation from many important stakeholders whose words and actions over a long period of time have directly or indirectly driven the demand for the Franchise Registry to be created. These include founders and leaders of prominent Australian franchise brands, senior bankers, professional advisors and senior officers of the Franchise Council of Australia. I'm sure everyone here recognises the benefits of having a robust and credible franchise sector. Whilst we present as a strong sector in terms of our frequently reported contribution to gross domestic product, the number of brands operating, the number of units, the number of people employed, the number of franchise brands per capita, on and on, we are still vulnerable to reports and at times distorted perceptions about the credibility of franchising as a business model. Whilst the actions of a few are generally the catalyst for this type of adverse and unwelcome attention, the reality is that not everyone operates, respects, or in some cases even recognises the franchising code of conduct in their operations. This has the ability to significantly harm our sector. Today, we take one of the sector's most significant steps in self-regulation and the pursuit of higher standards with the launch of the Australian Franchise Registry. The Australian Franchise Registry is the first and only registry of its kind in Australia. The Franchise Registry will help fill the credibility gap that, despite the best endeavours of many, still exists in Australian franchising. It will do this by establishing a public record of franchise brands that are clearly genuine and clearly committed to enhancing the reputation and credibility of the Australian franchise sector. By initially registering and then annually filing current versions of disclosure documents and franchise agreements, they will contribute to a wider and deeper information base that will be invaluable for representation, sector governance and regulatory deliberations. The concept and indeed the appetite for a registry is not new. Similar registries operate in other international jurisdictions, and the registry model we have implemented is based on the US Franchise Registry model. That US model was also created by Frandata and is heavily utilised in that massive market, with 80,000 website views per month now occurring across their key stakeholders. Closer to home, the establishment of a registry was a recommendation of the 2010 Joint Parliamentary Committee report on franchising. That report specifically recommended the establishment of a registration system for franchise businesses which could enable the collection of data on the sector. Whilst this recommendation did not progress, the information gap that undermines the franchise model has persisted. At the time, establishment and ongoing administrative costs were cited for not proceeding, and these hurdles have been overcome through the substantial financial and time investment that has been made by Frandata Australia. So how does the registry operate? To summarise its operation briefly, brands must register online at franchiseregistry.com.au, accept the terms and conditions of the registry, provide a current disclosure document, current franchise agreement, confirm that documentation complies with the Franchise Code of Conduct, that's the franchisor's confirmation, pay a registration fee of $365 and an annual filing fee of $365. Once their application has been approved, they are allocated a certificate of registration which includes their unique registration number. And a new term in the Australian market, will be known as a FRUNS number. FRUNS stands for Frandata Unique Numbering System and has been adopted as the brand identification standard by US lenders and others tracking that market. This FRUNS number can be quoted in all dealings and will be a valuable tool to assist in their quest to be recognised as a genuine and compliant brand. Frandata Australia will actively market the registry through a variety of channels, and substantial traffic is anticipated for the website and its embedded online registry. The benefits for franchise brands are simple and significant. They are clearly verified by an independent source to be a genuine franchise brand and easily recognised on the online and public registry. For the early adopting franchisors, they will have a window of opportunity to differentiate themselves. As the majority of franchise brands join and are recognised on the registry, they will each be part of the enhanced reputation and credibility that comes from improved mapping of the sector and the aggregated information that ensues. For a long time, the franchise sector has called out two recurring themes or challenges: franchisee recruitment and access to finance. On franchisee recruitment, prospective franchisees above everything seek to gain comfort they are dealing with someone they can trust. The registry helps with those very first steps in the process. The Franchise Registry will become the first check that prospective new franchisees make directly or through their advisors. The Franchise Registry will help prospective franchisees identify genuine franchising opportunities and promote increased credibility, both key ingredients in the recruitment function. The other recurring theme, of course, is access to finance. Access to finance, and I know a subject close to the Minister's heart, remains a significant challenge. Today we have representatives from the NAB, Westpac and the ANZ here. We also have representation from an experienced non-bank lending organisation who I understand are close to bringing a niche product to the market to support franchisee financing, recognising the value in the asset class of franchising. The presence of these lenders is testimony in itself of their desire to support the sector. With a banking background myself, I know all too well how a lack of information stifles the ability to assess risk and approve lending. Inclusion on the Franchise Registry and the supply of two pieces of basic information is a simple but significant step to close what has become a debilitating information gap. Finally, for policymakers, regulators and industry associations, the Franchise Registry is a significant step in self-regulation and will provide enhanced and meaningful data to support the work they do in developing, protecting and representing the sector. A credible independent franchise registry benefits many stakeholders in the franchise sector, and this has been well proven in other markets. After a significant amount of research, construction and testing, I can advise that the Australian Franchise Registry is now ready to be launched.